I'm co-host James Ash.
And I'm co-host Phil Scaife.
Welcome to the Business Lockdown. So welcome to today's episode. Kerri Layton, owner and founder of Dixiebird Records, amazing singer amongst many talents, wears many hats, which we're going to find out a lot more about today. Also, Kerri was one of our winners from our 6K marketing competition back in June, and it's been a while. We've communicated and video called a number of times, and yeah, now is the time for your very own episode. So welcome to the Business Lockdown, Kerri. How are you doing?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So, I mean, just straight off the bat, you're in the events industry. I know we had Andy Crozier on our previous episode, who's a photographer, and a lot of his work is based within the wedding industry. And I know that's part of what you do and how you do it amongst your business. It just seems that you guys have taken the brunt of all of this in the event space. So what has the last kind of 9 months looked for you and your business?
It's been really, really, really tough. I actually pivoted the business and went into, I'm an ex-drama teacher, so I was able to go and do a drama school online for children, which we're still running now, which is awesome. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do an online business, because after years of being on the stage, it's been a real relief to just actually sit in this Rolls Royce of a desk chair 8 hours a day and just be like, so that's been good. But you know, the first month, I mean, this year Dixiebird Records we set up 3 years ago now, but at the time of the coronavirus outbreak, we had just turned 2.5 years, and we just turned a profit in the business. So I piled everything back into the business. Every single profit from every single gig went back in. I built that website from scratch myself. I hired SEO teams. I hired marketing, you know, everything to get to that point. Also, it was built during a time of severe austerity in my own personal life, which we'll come on to. And so it was really devastating. That first, I think on the Friday before lockdown, we just turned a huge profit in the business. The first time I was actually about to salary myself, and my accountant was like, "We're going to put you on the payroll." I was like, "Oh my God, I've made it!" And it was 4 days after that, it was like, phew. And by the end of the next week, we'd lost everything, every single penny gone, every single gig in the diary gone. Until the autumn, until September, and then so that first month, really, I properly grieved. I had the tools, thankfully, to look after myself. So I really, you know, was in the house. I did loads of decorating. I did everything. I followed my joy for 1 month. I woke up in the morning. I said, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do today and nothing else. And then, you know, obviously we safeguarded the business, but it was devastating, and it was akin to grief. You know, we lost all our team. We've got 20 regular musicians. We had to lay everyone off. We had to lay off our core team of 5. Everybody gone. Projects on hold. A residency we were just about to start, you know, pulled out of that last minute, even before the lockdown was announced, just to be responsible, because we thought, well, actually, we can't be contributing to the spread of this virus, blah, 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 blah. It was devastating. It was awful, painful. And really with Dixiebird Records, what we've done, we've taken a sabbatical, and we've set up our other business, the Retro Performing Arts Company. And we went back to work in September, and it was really, really depressing, because we went back to work, and I said, okay, I've got 2 businesses now. I'm going to juggle both these businesses. Well, not juggle them, but I'm going to grow both these businesses now. We went back to work in September. A week after we'd just gone back, we then lost all our work until April. So I've had another period of grief. But actually, I was saying to you before, you were like, "What have you been doing since we last spoke?" I was like, "I've been playing out."
Well, that's a 6-week period where you've just decided to take a breather. Yeah. And there was a really important. How did you describe it? Where did you relieve yourself of guilt for that period?
Yeah,
I think that's so amazing and so powerful, because people in business either work all hours God sends or have loads of freedom, and it seems like there's nowhere in between. And you said that you've just worked non-stop until this 6-month period recently. I mean, how was that look? Because I think relieving yourself of guilt is such an amazing statement to make, especially as a business owner. Tell us about that process going into that. You know, what made it? Did you decide? Was it just a week that you thought I'll take a week off, and that continued as you went?
Yeah, I was going to take a week off, and then I was going to return like a 50% thing. And I just literally, I was waking up on a Monday and I was like, what do I want to do today? And I went and walked my dog. I've got a little spaniel, Memphis, and I walked the dog, and we just went around, you know, visiting friends. And also by that point, lockdown was really eased in August. The pubs opened again, so by September, you know, my network had really opened up again. So I was like going to see my friends in South London. We were like going to the park, we were going to the pubs, we were having gatherings in the house, parties, barbecues. And so it's just been 6 weeks of being you know, a 35-year-old woman basically, and it's been amazing. Like, I just gave my age away. I know I don't look it, but for the first time in my entire life, in my entire adult life, I allowed myself to just be and exist in this space of being and just playing out. I've done a little bit of work. Obviously, I've got 2 businesses. I can't just abandon ship. But, you know, I certainly didn't launch any new campaigns. I certainly didn't put any pressure on myself to get a newsletter out, or, you know, and we had no work on. It wasn't like we left our clients high and dry. There were no gigs. We just had everything cancelled. I mean, it's devastating. It's been devastating. And it was a second wave of grief for me from where we were at in March. It was like, oh my gosh, we're here again. But one thing I've really learned throughout my adult life, when you experience a trauma, is that you have to allow it to sit. And if that feels awful, you have to allow the trauma to be there. You have to acknowledge that you're feeling awful. You have to acknowledge the anxiety. You have to let the depression be there. You have to sit with it. You can't just say, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I shouldn't be feeling like this. You know, it's okay. So the quicker you surrender, the quicker you're going to get over it. So I had that depression, I had that guilt, that anxiety, but for the first time ever, I combated it with 0 guilt.
Yes.
It was great.
Love that. Well, so if we kind of flip that around, what has it normally looked like? Because you've had this period which sounds long overdue, clearly, and it's had a positive impact on you, and I imagine those around you. You know, what has that looked like normally? Have you just not opened yourself to do that, or have you maybe taken a weekend off here, or tried to have a holiday and you've felt like you need to be busy? What's it look like under normal circumstances?
It's a really great question, because I've always a couple of years ago I did this really massive project, and it was a 2-month turnaround, and it was a huge project, a 50,000-60,000 pound budget with 226 performers, and it was absolutely bonkers. And I had 2 months to deliver it, and we had a micro team of 6. It wasn't just me, but I was the one of the main directors. It was absolutely insane, and I had a coach during that period, and she gave me the 30-30-30-10 rule. And I've always applied that, and I even color code my calendar like that. So it's 30% is for you, health, yoga. I hate yoga, by the way. You know, cooking a healthy meal for yourself, looking after yourself, meditating, a bit of you time, walking the dog, you know, things that nurture me. 30% is that. 30% is for friends and families or relationships, socializing, and 30% is for work. And then 10% is your buffer. So if you've got a really busy week, you can pop it onto your socializing because you've got a wedding and a party and a birthday to go to. And if it's your business because you've got a launch, you might need to put 10% there. But what I loved that she said you can always borrow from the you time and the family and friends time if you've got a busy period, and whack it onto the 30%. So during lockdown, I actually think I did a year's worth of work in 3 months, because there was no family or friends to see. There was the occasional, you know, we did Zoom and stuff, weekly Zooms and things like that. But, you know, really it was like my own care and starting a new business. I call it a startup on steroids. I was thinking I could do a little book. It was like caffeine infueled, you know, 16 hours a day sometimes, just like completely laser sharp focus for 3 months. And so so I've made up for it now, because that was like 90% work. So I thought, God, I have to balance this out a little bit. But that's normally what it looks like for me. I'm quite fluid. I'll think, okay, I've got a busy few weeks, but as long as I'm hitting that and I'm hitting those points in the business. And obviously, you know, you've got busy times with gigs. Christmas times are mental for us. Do 28 gigs at Christmas. It's back to back. Like Christmas, December counts for over 50% of our income. And that's probably across the board in show business.
Incredible. And how does that look right now? You know, is that zero? Is it really?
Zilch.
Because the last time we spoke, Kerri, you were just about to look at making a decision where you drew your line in the sand and just counted that 2020 is done, and so you can then better plan for next year. And I've got to say, I've really taken that. Since we spoke and you said that, I've really taken that on, and I've seen that in so many industries. I've read loads of articles and I've spoken to a number of people, and I've repeated that because people have almost said the same thing, but I've been in a position where I go, well, actually, I spoke with this lady and what they've done is this. And because of that, it's almost like taking control yourself in the best way possible. Because I think the crippling thing, especially in the event industry, has been this not kind of knowing. And I know that the wedding is like, right, okay, so a number of weddings can't go on. Some people are still going to try and have them, but it's less people, and then that's reducing this. So then they cancel. So they've had this process of hope, and then it's been that kind of cancel. Right, okay, it looks this way now. Whereas I just think putting your stake in the ground, your line in the sand of then, right, this is what we're going to do now, because it just puts us in a better position to plan forward. Has that been nailed? Was that almost taken out of your control, or did you actually go, this is what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and communicate that to your team?
Yeah, I mean, the team, there is no team now.
Wow.
It's just me.
Wow.
It's just me now. Yeah, I mean, I've brought my marketing team back 10 hours a month, so I've got some support there, and I've still got my coach. You know, I've kept one of my coaches on because you can't not. But yeah, no, it's just me now. So it's down to me. But my team, I suppose it's not only me, because everybody else is still there. I've still got a team. You know, we're pulling on the guys, but the core team, our internal team, when we have weekly meetings and say, this is what we're doing, get our bass player and composer to say, you're going to draw these, you know, that's all gone. So everybody's kind of like, wow. I feel like we're all like in that, you know, the dentist advert when everyone's like, because everyone's got such good teeth, they don't need a dentist. So like, no. That's what everyone's doing. So I did get to that point, and that was very healthy to just go, right, enough's enough. We can't do anything until next year now. And in fact, 2021 and 2022 is rammed now, because we've had all our gigs cancelled until April, which means that things have been held. So all the gigs that we had booked in for this summer are now going to be booked next summer and the summer after. So we're going to have a really busy couple of years. But what that helped me do, that surrender, and also this 6-week holiday that I've just had, it's given me the opportunity to now respond to what's going on. So I'm really wary of the crisis having quite a demoralizing all of our musicians. I'm really worried about the state of our musicianship. You know, will we be able to just spring back in April? I kind of need to keep them inspired, fed and watered, like there are those, and our souls nurtured, so that we're still keeping music alive and we're still able to come back and do shows and things. So one things that we've just launched is the micro winter wedding packages. So people who are having weddings of 15 people, we've just launched a special offer for October, and it will run all winter, but it won't be on offer what it is now, because we've created a really super awesome offer if you book in October. But the idea is that people can book in October and they can schedule it at any point over the next 6 months, and it can be between 15 and 50 people, that wedding. So and also if they have to cancel it, we'll give them a voucher and say you can redeem this off any band in the future, but you will have to pay more, because supply and demand. So we've got 8 amazing world-class Grammy nominated artists on our books, female musicians, band leaders, artists, singers, composers. And I've rallied up, so we've got 4 saxophonists and 4 singers, and we've come together as a collective for this winter wedding package. And what it's already done is inspired me personally. I've been sat here working with, and I never do this, sat here working with all my backing tracks, which I transpose all my vocal jazz, all the jazz chords from. So we sit there and just sort of like scatting or like warming my voice up or singing all the old jazz standards while I'm working, because it's inspired me again. I think, wow, do you know what, actually this Christmas we might just get a little mini winter wedding, and all of a sudden I'm going to be singing these old winter jazz songs and love songs. So I thought, wow, I need to. So even as a practice, you know, we actually have had a booking already for the winter wedding packages, but it's the date isn't confirmed yet. They've just bought and booked it because it's a bargain. It's £350 for a world-class musician to be at your wedding. It's £350 for a solo intimate. That will just never happen again. You will never get that opportunity again to have that. And I thought, how special, somebody who loves music, to have a really personalised, tailored, can be saxed up the registry office, you know, saxed up the aisle, like acoustically sax you up the aisle. It's given me a chance to have fun again and get back into my play. That's a really big thing for me, is play. It's always been a really important part of creating and being. And because I gave myself that 6 weeks, which was really hard to surrender to, because it was creeping in a bit. Whoa, why am I being so, you know, can't focus and stuff. I just thought I was going to enjoy this. And as soon as it did, I stepped into my role again as the leader of our agency, and all my female friends are just sat at home feeling so forlorn and morose and like no direction, no focus, because we've lost our identity. It's not just a job. It's not just as simple as, oh, and it's like you asked me to sing a song off before we started this. I said, whoa, you needed to give me a bit more notice, dude. Because we've had a 9-month hiatus. Like, we had a 9-month sabbatical. Like, nobody is, unless you're practicing every single day, which a lot of us are. It takes time to get up. So this winter wedding package, we are putting gigs, we're putting the feelers out for gigs. In fact, we're not even putting the feelers out. We're like, we will come and play your 15-person wedding. Like, we can do that. We're COVID approved. We are fine. Socially, this is just, we will come and make it absolutely memorable and amazing. You do not have to give up the magic of your ceremony just because they're saying you can't have more than 15 people. So we're throwing the net out open now and seeing what comes back, and see if we can get any of the girls, me or any of the girls, and all of us. If we can get 2 gigs each over the next 6 months, we'll all be very, 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 very happy, because it's given us all inspiration again. We're like, oh, we'll work on that little noodle, or we'll, you know, work on that little composition. It's inspired us. So even if that's all it serves is some visibility with the business, it gets all the girls out there. We're doing musician showcase throughout the month, so everybody we're showcasing people. If all it does is remind us why we do what we do and keep us on track, then it's going to be a job well done. I said to the team, my sax player Lottie, we went for coffee the other day, and we were sat on the banks of the Thames looking out, and it's so quiet at the moment, and it's a really strange time to be in London. It's dead. There's no one around. Even the tourist areas they're the busiest parts of London, but even then there's only like 10 people kicking about.
Wow.
Cafes are completely empty. And we went for a glass of wine at the closed down Shakespeare house at the Shakespeare Theatre, and we at the Globe, and we sat down like just next to, it's a Globe, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
The old Shakespearean, so we went to a little wine bar just then. We were the only people sat there, and sat looking out over the Thames, and we just had this vision, and we thought, if we're in London now going through this, we're survivors. We're going to be survivors. So all of our musicians and all of our fellow friends and stuff, everybody's, oh God, I've got to go get another job. I've got to retrain. You don't have to retrain. You don't have to go get another job. Yes. Hustle like crazy. Do what you've got to do to get money in the house. I'm living in my living room now, in my flat, which I was living on my own for ages. It's a beautiful, technically a 1-bed flat in Hackney, but it's spacious enough. I've moved into the living room and I've got a lodger in my other room now. I had to do it. You've got to do whatever it takes to stay in the game, because we're going to come out of it survivors. And whether it takes until 2022 or 2024, if you've stayed in your game as a musician and and it's show business, okay, so like we have to keep ourselves in the business, we're going to smash it. The rest of the 20s is going to be epic. We've started the year with a pandemic. People haven't partied. Like, can you imagine what the rest of the 20s are going to be like? It's going to be crazy.
Well, I'm pleased you spoke about adjusting and pivoting, and there's been some controversy recently from the government's point of view, and I'm eager to know what your take on that has been. Heavily been involved in the music industry, and it was all coming through that musicians and artists should go out and retrain. Now, what was that message, and actually what's your take on it, and what's, because it seems like it's been blown up hugely. It's certainly massive right now. I've got a number of friends in the music industry, and social media has been riddled with this message and people's responses to it. I think I saw there was a meme yesterday of artists superimposed, photoshopped into, like, I think it was Liam Gallagher in a till at Asda singing like on the microphone, and there was Morrissey like Cafe Nero with a tray delivering coffee. There was which was a funny positive spin on it. But what's your take on that message?
It's not too far from the truth, is it? When you are, we're artists. We're going to be artists when we die. We're not. You can't take that out of us, okay? So I've got two things to say about this. I've waited tables during my career. I was singing big stages, touring. I sang for royalty, and then I went a month later, was serving drinks in a bar in February because it was a quiet season. We've got to get away from this stigma that's attached to having a second job as a musician. You are not any less of a professional musician or artist if you've got a second stream of income. You are still a professional artist if you've got, so there's some of that going on. People are like frightened to go and get an extra job because they think that it'll demean their artistry. But what is going on with this whole thing is, if you look at I looked at the manuscript, the transcript of what he actually said. Like, what's going on right now in social media, and I'm not blaming musicians for this, it's just the general where we're at in the world. People just hear something and they blow it up, and they're like, oh my gosh, oh, did you see what they said? Did you see? Well, actually, but did you really see what they said? No. You saw what you heard somebody else say, and then that said, and that said, and that said. It's Chinese whispers. He never said musicians and artists should retrain. He said, if people's industries are affected, can't remember the exact words, but if your industry is affected, adapt. We're all adapting right now. Mm-hmm. Everybody is adapting. I am fully 100% a jazz singer, a band leader, a director, but I've adapted. And I've pulled out my skills as a drama teacher, which is what I did years ago, and a youth worker. And I've created something where I can still use my skills and create an income for myself. I've adapted, but it doesn't mean I'm leaving my career. I'm not going to leave 12 years worth of hard graft to just disappear. And there's an entitlement there as well. Like it's okay for us to go and get another job, but we are all we're in a global pandemic. It's not conspiracy theory. It's not people, even if people say, oh, it's man-made. Even if it was, it is still real what's happening. It's all over the globe. So everyone's like, oh, our government this, our government that, our government this. I just think if you're going to make it through this as a survivor and you're going to get to the other side, there's an opportunity here to control our minds and our mindset. And we've never had this opportunity so shown to us so strong. Mm-hmm. You've got to choose what you put in your mind. You have to choose what you put in your mind. You can say, okay, that's going on. That's awful. But, I'm going to go and now do something which makes me feel really great. And I'm going to do something which I can control, which is my mindset, and not be like, oh my God, the music industry's dead, man. It's really hard. Don't get me wrong. I've gone through this shit. I built my company from the ground up with zero support during an operation. I had a vocal cord operation and couldn't sing. I had a head injury and severe PTSD. I grieved. That was all during the first 2 years of my business. And the only way I got through that was I kept a very pure vision of what I wanted at the end of it. And I just went over rocks, under tunnels, round and about, everywhere, to do it. So I think that we just need to stop getting involved in so much negative talk. When I went through that vocal operation, I literally, if I'd have sat and listened and allowed myself to listen to my negative talk, or but I caught it, and my mindset was the single thing that got me through that whole period.
Can you give us insight into that? Because that's so you kind of got there before I did. So tell us about that period. Because
I don't even know if I've been completely off track. I can't even remember what your original question was.
Well, no. As a vocalist, we were going. So we were going into. I was going to be going into this as a vocalist. It's like you've had the worst kind of possible situation happen to you, and so to give us insight into that. Tell us about that period of your life and how long ago it was, and how you came out of that, because you're clearly someone who attacks the day and fights challenges and opportunities.
Unless I don't, which is what I did last week, ordering takeaways at midday and watching films. That's part and parcel of the whole process. 2016 I had a major performance at Alexander Palace. I was in my 7-piece band, and I had some incredible session musicians playing with me. I not only performed in it, but I also creatively directed and produced the whole thing. It was insane. Like as a performance artist, it was like your dream gig, And 2 days after that, I had this robot voice came out of nowhere. And I went into hospital and my voice had spasmed. They rushed me in for an emergency operation. So that was 2016. And it'd already been a really shit year. Like, a really good friend of mine died in very traumatic circumstances. My auntie was diagnosed with cancer, who died the following year, and I was very close to her. That operation happened. I also had a really bad head injury, and I had a severe concussion for 6 months from that. So it had already been an awful year. I mean, 2016, there was Grenfell Tower, there was countless people passing away. It was already like a shit show that year. So to end it in a place where I found out I might lose my voice forever and I was never going to sing again, potentially, was really traumatic. So I had the operation, fast forward, I'd torn my vocal cords. I had torn them, so they did laser surgery and miraculously saved the natural sounds of my voice. My voice is naturally very husky, and it gives me a very unique singing voice. Like, I'm not a function singer, I can't do those like crystal clean or West End. I've got a very original sound, and thank God they didn't destroy that. But during that period, I lost all of my income. I had no support from family. Or, I was on my own in London, didn't know a quarter of the people that I know here. And now, now I'm like, this is my home. I've got a great support network around me. But back then it was just me, and I was really faced with this moment of complete, like, what do I want? It was really an awesome opportunity to get very clear about what my purpose was as an artist and a musician and a producer. What was my actual core saying to me? And I had 3 weeks of vocal rest. I couldn't speak for 3 weeks over Christmas. Didn't say a word for 3 weeks.
Was that a lot of pen and paper, or a lot of hand gestures, or all of the above? And
yeah, it was an amazing experiment, actually, because people thought that I was completely mute. And I had a little sign at one point. It says that mute but cute. And I took myself out on little dates in central London. It was Christmas time, so I got really dressed up, and I'd go to like the National Portrait Gallery, and you like to try and order a coffee. You like to write it down and then give them the paper, and people would give me coffees for free, and they'd walk me to my table, and I was like, I couldn't say to them, I'm not disabled, but this is a really interesting social experiment. But it was difficult. It was exhausting to communicate to people. So I did a bit of socializing, but I really just I was traumatized. I had a really awful year, and then that happened. So it was traumatic. So I gave myself an opportunity to really calm my whole central nervous system. But then what happened after that was a complete breakdown, which led to an amazing life, which is what I've got now. So I think there's a lot of parallels in lockdown. There's a lot of parallels to my fellow musician friends who've had, they're experiencing right now what happened to me then. And if anyone's listening to this, I want you to know that you're going to get through it. You just have to keep the vision at the end of it. And whatever external information comes in, the doctor's saying to me, you might never sing again. You can never eat spicy food again. You can't drink more than 7 units of alcohol a week. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You need to do that. Take the information that you need. Take the information that is going to actually help you, like not drinking more than 7 units of alcohol a week. If I have a gig, I can't drink at all. If I don't have a gig, I drink more than 7 units. Don't tell the doctors. So take the information that's going to serve you, but block out the rest, because it's not serving anyone to be on Facebook and social media going, we've got to retrain. Oh, he said that. There's no help for me. Poor me, poor me. There was no help for me when I did that at first. No help whatsoever. Like, I literally got myself into debt, took out loans. I just did everything I could. And thankfully, when I got to a really bad place, actually, I had a meltdown with my vocal coach when I could speak again, and we were retraining my voice. He said, God, you've been through it, haven't you? And I was like, you don't even know. And he was like, oh God. But he was really supportive, and Chris Johnson, and he gave me the number for Help Musicians UK, and they were instrumental, pun intended, in creating what now is, or was, a thriving career for me. But they've really stepped in and helped a lot of artists at this time. They've got a lot of resources, but I do feel like we've got a national effort now to really look after musicians, because musicians are integral to our life experience. We can't, and I think there's a really unhealthy attitude where we are kind of like divas, or it's all about us, or we are lazy, or we are living the dream and we don't work as hard. I can tell you something. Becoming the professional musician that I am today has been not hard, because it's completely in my zone of genius, like what I'm born to do, but it has been the biggest sacrifice, the biggest dedication. It's made me get up at 5 a.m. to go and do meetings, rehearsals, video shoots. It's made me go to bed early when I really wanted to stay out. It's made me be the healthiest version of myself. Like, people don't even see that. and we knit society together. Musicians knit society together. So I think we've got a national effort to lift up people's. Musicians need to take responsibility for their mindset right now, because what I'm seeing is really unhealthy. Facebook is like super. It's like a nest of vipers. Don't even go. It's like, it's like dip in, get the hell out of there, man. Don't watch the news. Don't listen to gossip. You know, my philosophy is, if it's important enough, you will hear about it, and then fact check it. Like, actually fact check it.
But it's so easier said than done, isn't it? Because it's social media is a drug. Is essentially a drug. It kicks off dopamine, and it's just like the fear of missing out as well is so big, and especially in the artist community, where it's equally as important to know what your heroes, who you aspire to be or who you look up to, are doing, but you can't see that without seeing the rest. And it's so tricky to get that balance right, isn't it? But based on that, Kerri, who is your hero? Who's your hero, and why?
I've got loads of heroes. I've got absolutely loads of heroes. But what the heroes that really gave me permission to be who I really am today were the old singers, Bessie Smith, Memphis Minnie. You know, these singers, Dinah Washington. But the early blues singers. I mean, I went on this awesome journey. Sister Rosetta Tharpe. I went on this awesome journey of discovering these blues singers, and they went through very, very, very different struggles to me. Very different life experiences, but in their songs I really connected with owning that struggle. My early life was quite traumatic, and it was the first time I thought, this isn't it, this isn't everything, these aren't the cards I've been dealt, isn't my future. Goodbye. And so, you know, I called my dog Memphis after Memphis Minnie. You know, these women were hardcore. They were singing at a time where, you know, they were performing and singing where racial segregation was rife. They were assaulted, abused. They were, you know, raped. They had to make money from sexual you know, so it's gone quite dark, but you know, they supplemented their music income like that, but they recognized the golden opportunity with the music industry, the white male music industry in America, and they made these records which were all about sex, which is like, these were sassy women, man. They were sassy hardcore chicks. They were glamorous, they were rich, they got very rich. Bessie Smith was the highest paid entertainer in the 30s. You know, she was a black woman. Do you know what I mean? She was the highest paid entertainer. You know, she owned the divaness. You know, it was great. And these are my heroes. I met these women through song, and I was like, oh, yes.
I love that. And meeting them through song is so powerful. I love that, because we can, when you say that, straight away takes me back to being a 12, 13, 14-year-old, and what artists and style of music and what they represented and the power of them. It's that what you just said there straight away takes, and I'm sure it will for many of our listeners and viewers who are part of this episode. I think that's so powerful. Well, before we kind of sign off, and it's something really important I want to talk to you about, because when we've caught before, you were talking about setting up a scheme, and I believe it's called Band Bank, right? And so Band Bank, and so if you can give us a bit of an overview of what that is and where you're up to with that, because I don't know if it's over the line yet. I know it's an amazing concept, and it's been an exciting process. So yeah, tell us what that's all about.
Well, there's a great phrase in vaudeville that says, "Don't applause, just throw money," and we're cashing in on that phrase right now. So. Because back in the day, that's how the performers got paid, you know. It was like, yeah. So right now we're in a really weird place, and we're now looking at 21, 22, which is crazy because we were only in 2019 the other day. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but with musicians, you know, the one thing that we really need to sell our work is charts. You know, that's to deliver the work. We need great charts, original charts making. We need amazing promo. We need really good, high quality recordings, and we need really good photographs and videos. And we were just in the process, like I said, 2.5 years of building Dixiebird Records, and against all odds we turned a profit, and I was contributing to the living wage of at least 20 musicians. And I'm like, we did it. And thank God we did, because if that hadn't happened, I don't think I would be picking it back up, you know. Like, we did it. I know this works. But we were just about to do a residency. We were just about to record all of our promo for the next couple of years. So it was scheduled for the end of the summer. So we're in a strange place now, because you can't, it's the chicken and the egg. You can't make the promo without the gigs to pay for the promo, and you can't get the gigs without the promo. So I'm like, okay. Also, what's going on is I'm really, really, really concerned about my musicians, and in a business sense, my supply chain. You know, if they get depressed, go out of business, decide that it is no longer financially sustainable for them to be a musician, which is what we are all experiencing right now. And I really want my musicians to be like on this journey with me, and I want us all to survive, me included. You know, I want us all to make it. We need to keep our practice high. So we have come up with a scheme it's called the Band Bank. So you can cash into the Band Bank, and we've got different awards from £50 up to £500. So it's a pledge, it's a crowdfunding scheme, but it's backed by the Mayor of London, which we're fingers crossed about to be approved, because they matched up to £5,000. So our goal, our target is by the end of November to have £10,000 in the Band Bank, £5,000 pledged from the public, from our fans, from our clients, our bookers. Get that money in the bank. The government will match fund it. That means in January I have got our collective, our family of amazing, talented, incredible jazz musicians, females, because we've got a lot of female band leaders, as I already mentioned, but we've also got all of our amazing male musicians. We're not a female agency or label. So our goal is to get in January and February in the studio, record, film, photograph, give money to our producer. Our producer, Jordan, was doing an amazing job on creating these charts for our 7-piece band before lockdown happened. So this is the stuff that people don't see. They just see, I'm booking a band, I'm getting 2 45 minutes on stage. But this is the stuff. So this is a great opportunity to be transparent about that. So that's what we're doing. And I really hope that it takes off. So I want to quickly just tell you about the rewards, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great fun.
I'm straight away thinking, well, what does £50 look like, and what does £500 look like, and what is in between? So
let me tell you. Let me just go and get one of the things.
Cool. I've also got to ask, what is that on your grid behind? Is it a hat with a K?
Oh, this is my inspiration grid.
Love it.
For when I'm teaching for the children. So this here is my crown. So sometimes with the kids, that's my crown, because I am a drama queen, you know, and it's all about that. For me, was about turning around negative words. Oh, you're a drama queen. Like, boys don't get called drama queens, do they? They might do, but you know, like, actually, I'm expressing a range of complex emotions. Thank you. So. That was my little thing. It's just a bit of fun.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, so let's go from £50 to £500 with Band Bank and what that looks like.
Yeah, so £50 and 100. Oh, is there 50, 25? I can't remember off the top of my head now. 50, 10, 50, 100, 10, 25, 50, 100, 500, I think. I can't remember. But go and look at the link, guys. The £10 one is, if you donate £10, you will get. So when we book into the rehearsal studio, our first meetup as a collective, as a family in the studio, we're going to have the drums, the bass, the guitar, the piano, everything. We're going to have a great live improvisation. We're going to record a song, the thank you song, and it'll be a song of praise, and we're going to thank everybody who's pledged on the campaign, so by name. So that for the £10 gets you that and a warm fuzzy feeling inside, because you've put food on the plates of professional musicians at this time.
Love it.
So that's the first prize. £25. I can't remember what the exact one was. It was that, and I think some merchandise and something else. I can't remember. We've been working on it. But the £50 one, this is very exciting. So you get all of the above. And I bought. So my friend said the other day, said, "You're absolutely bonkers. I can't believe you've done this." But I really like the one of the first ways of monetizing music. The music industry is only 300 years old, by the way, which isn't very old at all, and it's gone through a lot of changes. And one of them was when they decided to automate piano players, which I realised the irony of the fact that we're saving our live music industry by selling what put lots of piano players out of work back in the day. But we've got all these vintage pianola rolls.
Oh, wow.
So we've got these. I've bought 50 pianola rolls. So do you know what a pianola is?
I mean, I can imagine. I don't know for sure, but I can. Yeah, where it runs through, and it's essentially a paper version of a record, right? Of a vinyl.
Exactly. Look.
Yeah.
So that would go in the back of the piano, and they're just beautiful, and they're on these little wooden, like mahogany, cases, and these little wooden bits here.
Wow.
And they're just gorgeous because they've even they've got the little. They're all
really a piece of history, literally a piece of history.
So people can buy a piece of history, and we're going to wrap this up and send it off in the post. And they're absolutely beautiful. But some of the boxes are just gorgeous. They're in really C minor, 80. But they're all. I was really hoping that we'd find some old boogie woogie or some ragtime or something in there, but there isn't. So the idea is, you can buy a piece of history and save the future.
And top end £500.
Yeah, so £100 and £500 is basically you get a voucher towards that you can use that to redeem off any of the bands over the next 2 years.
Got you.
We've created a wedding package, and we've created a group on Facebook, the Emerald Lounge, so people get automatic access to that. There's loads of bonuses. There's lots of behind the scenes stuff. We've got a private concert on offer, when we're allowed. People can book and we can come to your house and play in your living room. So there's really exciting things like that. Yeah, dinner with me, I'll make you some food. That's the most expensive one, by the way.
Love it. That's great. And again, it's just more about building your community when everybody is going through this in their own way, and also as a collective as well. Well, we'll certainly be dropping links down. Can you keep us up to speed? Any kind of updates, like positive stuff that's going on? Drop that into our group and let our guys know. We'd love to follow you on this journey, because it's just great. So many of us that have not sat back and we've attacked the day. We've looked at what opportunity. Although yes, we've had to pivot and adjust. But we're a community, and we're a community together, no matter in terms of what industry we find ourselves in. Look at this, for example. We're on now, and it's, although you and I are having a conversation, we're just the amount of things that you were saying. I've just been sitting back thinking, that's just amazing. That's so powerful. That'll resonate with so many people, so many of our viewers and listeners. So thanks for being on our show today, Kerri. Where can people find you? Where's your web and social hooks? Where can they be?
Thanks for having me. The best way to find me, I mean, I'm a very sociable person, so just add me on Facebook. Come and find me on my Facebook profile. But if you want to just do some stalking, you can go and check out Dixiebirdrecords.com or KerriLaytonmusic.com or KerriCreates.com is my kind of overarching entrepreneur portfolio and my personal brand. And yeah, just come and connect with me. I'm totally into voice notes. I'm always voice noting people on Facebook and stuff. So just keep in touch. Come and join the journey. Yeah, we're all over it.
Amazing.
I was going to say as well, we have done the script for that you suggested. James had an amazing idea. It was our 3rd birthday this year in August, and we're doing a celebratory video social media campaign. We've got Kathy Ann Hall. We've co-written it actually, but she's done this amazing script, which is really, it hits the nail on the head of how the industry's been affected for all of us right now, and we're about to send that out. So I would love you to feature on that, James. Can we send you it? Yeah.
Wow, I feel honoured. That would be
Great.
amazing. Yes, absolutely. Please do send that, and that'd be amazing to do so.
Awesome, fantastic. That'd be great.
An honour. That would be an absolute honour.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, it was a lovely time. Well, it was your idea, so you should
great
be
thing. Yeah, well, great things come from just having a chat, right? That's
absolutely
so true. Oh, phenomenal. Well, keep us up to date. Drop stuff onto our the Business Lockdown Facebook group is all about adding value to our members. So if people out there aren't a member yet, please do send us a request to become a member. It's a non-sales, purely value-driven group for our audience. So all of the positive stuff that you're doing, Kerri, please keep us up to speed. Drop it on there. It's absolutely amazing. It's been a pure pleasure having you on the show today.
It's been great. Oh, it's lovely to hang out with you. Yeah, and hopefully soon we can do a gig. Woo!
For sure.
Live
for
music.
sure. For sure.
Let it go.
Yes, absolutely. Well, have a great day, and no doubt we will speak very soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, Kerri. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Business Lockdown.
Please comment, like, share and subscribe to help build our global community.
We look forward to seeing you all soon.